Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Man, have you guys seen those prices on Twilight Masquerade? I got a half box of Twilight Masquerade here. These were some leftover booster packs from the last live stream I had with viewers. And I was doing a price check on how just Twilight Masquerade was currently going. And it looks like the Greninja EX card has reached $200 a card, which is an absolutely insane price point. The special illustration rare Carmine is going for over $100. So very interesting scenario where Twilight Masquerade cards after release is only going up rather than down. So a very unusual point for the market. I have actually pulled one of the Greninja EX. It was for a viewer, so we were able to look at the card, and it is a really spectacular card. I'm even more excited to pull it for my personal collection just because of how incredibly gorgeous it is. It does look really good. It fits perfectly inside of my personal collection just because it's a really colorful and vibrant card, which is exactly what I'm into. I love the clean design of it. I can recognize now that it fits perfectly inside of my collection. And it is a very good card. But is it deserving to be a $200 card? Because it's currently the most expensive card from the Scarlet and Violet era. The most expensive card inside of any specific set by quite a significant margin. And some people might think that it's too high. I do think it's very expensive. I don't know if it's too high. Because when you look at prior sets like Evolving Skies, in Evolving Skies, on release, the Umbreon VMAX was going for $300 and the Rayquaza VMAX was going for $200 in the exact same set. So there is a precedent for very expensive, highly desirable chase cards inside of very good sets. So would I say Twilight Masquerade is a great set? It really isn't. There are some cool cards inside of it, and it is a very good set. It's not a perfect set, but the cards do really have some solid value. Now, of all the cards inside of Scarlet and Violet, if I look at the chase card, I would probably put the Greninja EX at the top or very close to being the top card. It is that good compared to all the other chase cards inside of Scarlet and Violet. When you compare it to other big chase cards like the Roaring Moon, like the Charizard from Paldean Fates, perhaps you could say that one's a better one. Perhaps you could say the Mew or the Charizard or one of the 151 chase cards is better. But generally speaking, if you look at Scarlet and Violet, I would say the Greninja EX is probably one of the best, if not the best looking chase card. So it is very well deserving of the spot. Now, if you think that the market is being manipulated, and I have seen those comments floating around, I don't think that's happening. There just isn't any evidence of that's happening. I think this is really intrinsic value that the collectors are putting on this card. And really, it's all the cards inside of Twilight Masquerade. There's just a bunch of other really cool cards as well. I think the Eevee is another really strong one. It's currently floating between $40 to $50. I think it makes complete sense for the Eevee to be at that price point. If you have the Eevee, I don't think that's a card that I would recommend selling. I have seen some people reach out to me and say, hey, I pulled the Greninja EX. Should I sell this card? And that's going to be really up to you, because a card is more value than just its dollar price, right? We do talk about the value on some of these cards because they do have a dollar value to them. Because if you pull the Greninja EX, you can essentially trade it in and get yourself almost 2 full booster boxes of Twilight Masquerade. The odds of pulling these secret illustration rares are low enough that even if you buy 2 Twilight Masquerade booster box, you might not even pull a single special illustration rare. So they are that rare. I would say, are you going to regret selling the card? If you pulled that card yourself, that's a spectacular story for the rest of your life. You know, you can tell your kids about it, you can tell your friends about it, you can tell other collectors about your experience of cracking open this card. It's a chase card, but it's a trophy card because you yourself achieved it. You pulled that card. It's not a random card that you purchase off the street where there's no story tying it together. The fact that you cracked it open and you pulled that card has intrinsic value and meaning to you. And perhaps that is worth it. And if it's not worth it and you think that it doesn't matter, then of course you can sell the card and just get back the $200 value inside of it, but that's what I would ask yourself if you're looking to sell it, because if I pull the Greninja EX, that would be a serious question. At a price point of $200, it's a serious question to say, well, is it better to just sell it? Because prices might go down. Now, that doesn't mean prices will go down. Some cards stay expensive forever. Like I said, the Rayquaza VMAX from Evolving Skies was going for $200 at release, and the Umbreon VMAX was going for $300. And as we can see now, their prices have doubled and tripled in some cases. So they actually do go up over time. Now, will the Greninja EX go down in value? I think there is still room for it to go down. I don't think it's ever going to go down below $100. But could it go down to $140, $120? Absolutely. If the hype dies down, and I do think the hype will die down for Twilight Masquerade, there is some really cool card for it, and I absolutely believe that the Greninja EX is very clearly going to be the big chase card from this set for the end of time. I don't think another card from this set is going to beat it. There's just a bunch of other really cool cards as well. Ooh, like this amazing Dipplin illustration rare. The illustration rares from this set is really, really good as well. And honestly, I think that there's just so many other great sets coming out from the end of this year into next year that I think some of these future sets could absolutely overshadow the Greninja EX, which is the biggest reason it'll dip. I don't think that it'll be dipping forever. I do think that because of how genuinely good some of the cards inside of this set is, specifically cards like the Eevee Illustration Rare, the Perrin Special Illustration Rare, the Carmine, and the Greninja, I do think those cards will appreciate in value in the extreme long term. But in the next year or two, there are some really cool sets going down the pipeline with things like the upcoming special holiday set, with the upcoming Team Rocket set that's coming out early next year. There's just a bunch of other really great sets that is going to bring back a lot of nostalgia that I think it could completely overshadow Twilight Masquerade. So I think in the immediate future, yes, I think the Greninja EX might stay strong at $200. But as some of these other really cool sets come out, it'll probably dip back down to $150, $140. And after 2 or 3 years, once Twilight Masquerade is pretty much completely out of stock and a lot of people start really appreciating some of these cards and start FOMOing on them, kind of like how they are with some of the later Sword and Shield sets that we're seeing right now with things like Lost Origin and Fusion Strike. Yes, I do think that those cards will eventually go back up. So no, the market is not being manipulated right now. I do think the expensive prices on Twilight Masquerade cards are absolutely legitimate. They are worth that value. I think these cards are that good, and the pull rates is rare enough to warrant some of these prices. But eventually, unless you have to have these cards right now, they will probably dip back down. I don't think that the Greninja EX is going to stay strong at $200. I could be wrong, but you never know. I would say it'll be better to be on the safe side and not really pick up that card unless you have to have it inside of your collection. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate, but it looks like we did not pull the Greninja EX in today's video. We did pull some other really cool cards. I always appreciate an illustration rare. You probably noticed that I've had this on the sideline for a little while. I live in Las Vegas, and recently we had a PSA graded vending machine located in one of the casinos. I went to the vending machine. There was a long line for it, and they were selling Pokemon graded PSA cards from this vending machine, completely random mystery products, and there was a ton of people in line for these. They were incredibly popular, and you can pick up a mystery graded Pokemon card for $50, so I picked one of these up. Let's see what card we get. I've been seeing some people post on Reddit and other forums on what kind of cards they've been getting, and a lot of it looks okay. It looks like decent PSA 10 cards, but nothing spectacular. I wouldn't say that they are trash cards. I wouldn't say that they're terrible cards, but not a single card that people have gotten looks to be something that I would pay $50 for. Most of them look to be right around $20 to $30 worth of value, so that's sort of what I expect to get. They did not post that there were going to be any super expensive cards inside of these. They did not say that there was going to be a chase card. Basically, you're getting yourself a mystery graded slab, which can be fun if you're going to Las Vegas and you want to do something like this. At $50, I would personally say pick one up if you really want it for the novelty of it, but you're probably not going to get a very good card. Now let's see what we get. Ooh, a very nice illustration rare. We got ourselves a 2023 Mienshao illustration rare from one of these Japanese Scarlet Violet set. It is a PSA 10. This is a very nice mystery box, but would this card be worth 50 bucks? Probably not. Would I pick it up if I saw it inside of a display case for $50? No. This is really a cheaper illustration rare card. It's nice that it's in a PSA 10, and this is at least display worthy because it is a really cool illustration rare. However, this is probably not a card that you would spend $50 on. This is exactly what I would expect. It's a fun novelty. If you can go to these vending machines, they are incredibly popular right now. This is not sponsored by them. But yeah, this is exactly what I expect. Probably a graded Pokemon card that's worth around $30, maybe $40. There is no chase cards inside of these. There's no expensive first edition base set Charizard, nothing of that nature. Just a fun, affordable card, and they are still making money off you at the end of the day, which can be completely fine if you're into a gimmick like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.